Hey guys, welcome back. So I know it's been a while, but I just wanted to just find a good moment to make just an in-depth video about what we've been doing and what's been working in terms of first grade, and then also looking ahead. We have been falling behind a little bit, but just had to buckle down and just get things going. And so that's what I've been doing since Christmas to now. And so I just wanted to come back, share with you guys what we have been doing for first grade, how that's going, and what's been working, what hasn't been working. And then looking ahead, I'll also share in another video what our plans are for second grade. So stay tuned, and I hope that you like and subscribe to my channel. But yes, let's get into it. Let's start with language arts. That has been one of my main focuses, because I strongly believe that if a child has a really good foundation in reading, then they can successfully do every other subject, okay? And it kind of just gives them more independence as well early on. For some people like me, who sometimes have to do work with the other child and making sure that they are doing what they need to be doing. So for language arts, we are still using 𝚑𝚑𝚗𝚑. It has been working really well. I have the handbook for reading, and along with that, I have the basic phonics charts. I did not get the phonics flashcards just because I could not find them used for a reasonable price. A lot of the used prices were essentially like $5 off of the original. That is not a steal. So I just said I'm not getting that. But I did put all of them in here. I've been really appreciating this setup because I don't have to worry about spills or markers and stuff like that, or them getting bent up. I just look for the chart that we need for that day. It tells us up here, and it always tells you that inside of your teacher manual, which I do recommend always having on hand and using so that you can be more successful with this program. And also in the back of it, I do have the arithmetic chart. It's kind of weird. I did put both subjects into one binder. It fits, it works, why not? But that is the visuals that I have. In addition to my phonics charts, I do have my blend cards as well. I just have them stored in these here. I got these from the dollar store, I believe, and they fit just nicely. So there's like 100 plus cards in these. And then I have the blend A cards, B cards, and also the clue words cards. You really have to make sure that you have the teacher's manual. This, yes, it's so big, but it literally has everything. And then it walks you through word for word what you have to say, what your kid has to know. And it just takes a little bit of planning and setup for you to really get the most of this without wasting a lot of time. But to me, it's very efficient, and they do a really good job in just teaching the materials for your child. So I think it's fine with their homeschool manual and the way that everything's set up. It's fine. In addition to that, I did see that 𝚑𝚑𝚗𝚑 has some digital format for their supporting teaching materials. So what that just means, like these teaching charts and so forth, you can just have them on your computer and bring them up on your what's that thing called again? On your projector, if you have a projector, whatever. Or you can just leave it on your computer screen for your child and just use them and just click through while you're teaching. If you don't want to have like physical charts that will take up space in your home, or it may be a little bit cumbersome. But I really do appreciate that they do have those options available. But as I was saying, for language arts, it has phonics, handwriting instructions, along with reading instructions as well. You do have 3 workbooks that goes along with this: the spelling and poetry, letters and sounds, and then also your language. So I do all of them. It might seem like overkill, but I don't think it is. And I never said to my daughter, I know this is a lot of work, but I want you to do it. So I never said it I never say it like that, because I think that if I say that to her, then she is going to believe that it's a lot of work. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Like, I don't say, oh, this is really hard, but we're gonna have to do it. I just said, here's some work that we have to do after we do your lesson, and then we sit for 30 minutes, and then she just completes the work. It's done. No big deal. So for these, except for the spelling, you don't have a lot of handwork for the spelling, but the spelling, don't use it every time. So there are days where I just do an oral spelling check with her if they do call for reviewing of the spelling words. One of the things that I really love about 𝚑𝚑 is that the emphasis on those phonetic sounds, and they have to me, that helps with spelling a lot. Okay, if your child knows how to listen well and understand phonetic sounds, I think that makes them better spellers. To be honest, for this particular child, she does really well with this program. But that is language arts for 𝚑𝚑. I don't do anything extras in terms of other materials. I had plans in the beginning of the season to use supplemental materials for language arts, but then I decided not to. It was a lot of work. For literature, we are still working through the books that we got in our bundle for Sunlight. So this, I think this is an older version, because I believe now Intro to World Cultures will be K, and then the other one is A. I'm not sure. I did buy this used last year from someone, and I actually got the B level used again from that same person. So I will continue to use Sunlight as long as I can get everything used. And if that person continues to use it, I'm pretty sure that person's going to be my plug. But I just use this once in a while. It's not something that we use every single day for literature. The books we do read. So the books we will read every morning for morning basket. One thing I do like about Sunlight is that inside of these manuals, much like 𝚑𝚑, it does give you guided questions to ask your child and discussion topics. That really helps with comprehension. You can read a book, but if you're just reading a book just for the sake of reading, I don't think a child really does develop good comprehension skills, which is needed for every other subject and just every area of life in general. So we do talk and discuss the books. One of the books that we really loved, and I'm not sure if it was part of A, but it was My Father's Dragon. That was a really good book. And we're trying to get the other books in the series to continue with that. We have also read just a couple of others, maybe 4 books. I'm not sure. We're not, like I said, we're not doing these every single day. We have other books outside of these programs that we read for silent reading time and for bedtime. So we don't get to go through all of the reading materials on the list for Sunlight. We have 2 math curriculums that we use. And as you know, I did pick up 𝚑𝚑's Arithmetic 1 from last time. So in the last video, I did show that I was going to use this, and I do think that there was another curriculum I was going to use as well, but I ended up using this along with Beast Academy. Now wait, neither of these programs I don't think causes a headache for my daughter. Not that she's math minded, as people like to say. It's just that the approach that I have with every subject. We're going to do this thing today. Let's work on it together. So for 𝚑𝚑, they do have speed drills and things of that nature that the kids do on the same day that they have seat work as well. So you have classwork and you have seat work. So when you do your lesson with your child and you review your flashcards and things of that nature, then you do your seat work together. And then what I normally do for my daughter, I do let her go her separate ways, and she does her seat work for math at the same time that she does language arts paper, only because in that bulk of time, it is suggested that the kid takes about 30 minutes. So if my child wants to finish her stuff right after both language arts and math lessons are completed, or she has the option to do it before she goes to bed. So she doesn't just sit down for like 2 hours straight just doing book work and stuff of that nature, but she gets to choose when she wants to complete it. except for what we do together when we do a lesson. So like I mentioned, I also do 𝚑𝚑 Academy. So 𝚑𝚑 Academy, I just let her do 30 minutes of that, maybe I want to say 3 times a week, sometimes 4. It really depends how she's feeling. But one part of 𝚑𝚑 Academy that she has really been enjoying has been their puzzles. So if she's just relaxing and I said, okay, you can have some screen time, like say on a Saturday night or something like that, or a Friday night, that is when she does do some of those puzzles for 𝚑𝚑 Academy or on Saturday. But she does whatever she can complete within 30 minutes. And if she finds that it's just a little bit challenging, as long as she does try, I'm fine. I do try to set a timer for 30 minutes. It might seem a little bit extra, but I feel like 30 minutes for a 𝚑𝚑 Academy session works for her. Whatever she can get completed in 30 minutes is just fine. Because again, it's supplemental material for math for Rebecca. So I've heard people say that 𝚑𝚑 Academy doesn't have math facts. I'm not really sure. We're on level 1. We literally just started this like a month ago, and we're not using the books for level 1. I decided to do the online program. I did get 15 months, so she's gonna do whatever she can do until that subscription runs out. For level 1, we're just doing everything online. I did get for 2nd grade her level 2 physical books, because I did see that, just the problems are different. So just if you want to do some book work together, then we will work on that. Or then I just say, just do it on the tablet and it's done right there. But for math facts and stuff of those, stuff of that nature, Rebecca is fine. It's really structured. It really gives you that solid foundation. Rebecca works really well where they incorporate everything into learning. So they do have where the child has to use, manipulatives. That's fine with me. They have word problems. They have, the pictorial stage of, the child learning, and then oral instructions as well. So you would say, a math problem orally. They don't have to write anything. And then they give you the answer. It just helps the child to think, not just, oh, I can do whatever this math problem is on paper, but just for them to think through problems mentally. And that way that your child is really understanding the concept. So yes, like I said, those are the 2 programs I'm using, Rebecca and 𝚑𝚑 Academy. I did have plans to use Math with Confidence. I've had this book physically with me for almost a full year. But the time thing is where the issue lies. Time, because I do work. So I'm only able to sit down and do just Rebecca and then have her independently work through 𝚑𝚑 Academy. For Math with Confidence, it's a lot of games. We love games. But I don't think that we need another curriculum that shows us how to use games and then have more books to work through. So for 1st grade Math with Confidence and for all of the series, they have the instructor guide, and then you have your student workbook. Sometimes the workbooks have 2 workbooks for the older grades. But for me, I really went through this and I said, this is amazing. It really is. For what it boils down to in terms of math, because Rebecca was that first math that I started off with, I'm going to stick with it. And it all because it's working. There's nothing wrong with Rebecca, and there's also equally nothing wrong with this math. They really do a really good job. They approach the stuff differently, but they really come to the same conclusion. Honestly, every single math curriculum that I put my hands on, which I do have quite a few in this house, I'll review them. I'll even do like a lesson, do a lesson with me session thing, just so that you can see what I'm talking about. The math curriculums, they are teaching the same things. The approach may be just a little bit different, but I think as parents, we do have online resources that can teach us different ways on how to teach our child. The concept is taught one way, and you want your child to not only do math problems that same way, you can teach them other operational tactics. It's not just one way or the highway. It's not just one way to get to the same answer all the time. You don't even have to just rely on your instructor manual. You can get that knowledge yourself independently as a parent and then go teach it to your child. Like, you don't have to put your child in front of different methods, watching a bunch of different videos. I personally think that parents themselves should watch those extra videos so that they can essentially teach themselves and then to be able to successfully teach their child. That's if you have time. And I do recommend having just a little bit of time if you have to do something like that. So now for history, I'm still using the same resource, the 𝚑𝚒𝚗𝚒𝚗𝚒𝚗𝚒𝚗𝚒𝚗𝚒𝚗𝚒, whatever. I am still using this guy. So this is History, Bible, and Literature. So I did mention that this is what I use for my literature program, and it's also what I use for my history. It's just to keep it simple, just not to have just a whole bunch of resources all together. So if you wanted to have more than one, that's fine. But for me, I think the books that comes with this program works really well for us. Since I am familiar with the program, I'm easily able to do what needs to be done in terms of their history. So for history, we just read the books that this came with, and we don't do history every day or every week. So for example, what my scheduling for school in general is, I try to at least do math and language arts 4 times a week. For other topics such as science and history, 1 time a week is fine. If we don't get to it till the next week, that's also fine. It's not going to make or break, because again, this is first grade and I have 2 children. So I'm just like, I'm not going to be just drilling everything in right now. We're just getting into the groove of things, and I just want to set a good foundation in terms of exposing just different, just exposing her to different topics gradually, but while focusing mostly on the other stuff like reading and math, only because I believe that reading helps with everything else in life. So that's why I'm like, oh, you can read, then she can read her Bible verse that she has in Sunday school, and then she can read different passages when we do our morning devotions. So that's one of the really good things about her learning to read this early. It does help. And then I've also noticed that she gets really excited when she knows how to read a new word. So, but I just want her to have just a confidence in reading and attacking new material. But like I said, this is what we're using for history. It's not anything extreme, but yeah, it's been going really good. Oh, and actually, in addition to this, we do have readers from Rebecca. They have a history reader. So I have the 2nd grade reader with me right now. The 1st grade is downstairs somewhere. Here and there we will read that, but it's not something, again, like I said, we're not going to be reading it every single week. It's just material that I pick up and I say, hey, let's learn about this thing today, or whatever is happening currently. If I can find something with current events, then we'll read about it. That works really fine. For science, I do have Sunlight's science materials, but the only part of that I do, again, just the books. I don't do any experiments for that. I just find experiments online, like how to sprout lentils and stuff like that. Like those activities, I just look at them online, and then we would do an activity here and there. They love hands-on learning. And also, we did get some kits throughout the season for, those science kits, like make a volcano or make goo or eyeballs and stuff like that. So we do those once in a while, especially when it's warm out. Right now with the winter, the only thing they've been doing have been like collecting sticks, making campfire, like stuff like that, and just nothing really from the book, but it's been working fine. And like I said, I'm not too concerned that they're not learning a lot of science in this moment, because again, they're only 3 and 6, and that's fine with me. Okay, so at the time, I'm just taking things slowly in terms of the sciences, but it's been going good. So we are looking forward to finishing everything for 1st grade by the end of, I would say by the end of July. There's no really set date on that, because we're taking things slowly, and I don't want to overwhelm myself or them. And so we are just going through everything right now. I did mention that we are doing morning devotions instead of a full structured morning basket situation. So morning devotions, we have one particular book that we do use, and then from time to time I do have her read her King James Bible when she has her memory verse for the week, or if she wants to look at the pictures. And it doesn't change anything, it's a King James version, and just has just a little bit of extra questions and things for food for thought, I would say, that she just goes through. And then we do some moral reading. Is this set of books that not a set of books, there's this book that I got from christianbook.com. It really just talks about stories for kids that she can read by herself. Talks about your behavior and how to treat others, and how our emotions and things of that nature. So we have been working through that. Yeah, so that is what I have for first grade. We are in the works of getting everything for second grade. Second grade, I do anticipate that we will be using much of the same materials for 𝚑𝚑𝚗 and just a couple of others in there, because 𝚑𝚑𝚗 has been working, especially for language arts and math, and I just want to continue with that. But we will have supplemental math. I do have it already planned to have another supplemental math, and I'll show it to you. I'll reveal that in my next video. It's nothing new to the majority of people, but it's new to us. And then we will also continue with Beast Academy as well. So if you want to check out my picks for second grade, I do hope that you go check out that video. I'll have that posted soon enough here. But thank you so much for watching our recap for first grade, and I do hope that you guys have a wonderful day.